again, everybody. It's JJ, also known as Spying King, here on YouTube. Today I have another deck tech for you guys. I'm just going to upload another deck tech later today. So this tablet I'm using actually helps very well for videos. And sorry about noise in the background. Like I said, I live with other people, if you watched the first video. So today's deck tech is another commander, and the other video I'm going to upload today is commander as well. So hopefully you guys are excited for that, and if you like my content, please subscribe. I mean, it helps kind of. So anyways, let's get on to our commander. So today's commander is Tromokratis. So Tromokratis has hexproof unless it's attacking or blocking. So hexproof means your opponents can't hit it with spells, enchantments, abilities. Only you can hit it with its own stuff. So that's good right there. And Tromokratis can't be blocked unless all creatures defending player controls blocks it. So say a person has 5 creatures, and one of them has flying, and you give Tromokratis flying. That one creature cannot block it. All creatures defending player controls has to block it. So all 5 creatures have to block it. So if you tap one of their creatures down, or give them flying, something like that, he essentially becomes unblockable. So in this deck, what you're basically wanting to do is kill off people with Tromokratis through commander damage. In order to kill somebody off in commander, you either mill them out, kill them with infect damage, which is 10, kill off their life, which you start off at 40, so get them down to 0, or kill them off with commander damage. Commander damage is 21. So he is an 8/8 for 7, so basically 3 combat steps with Tromokratis, and you kill off somebody. So that's basically what this deck wants to do, is kill off somebody with Tromokratis. Now, he is mono blue, so let's get onto our land base. It's quite simple. So we got 30 islands, 5 wastes. So why we have the waste is because they produce colorless mana, and there are some creatures and some abilities in here which have colorless forms to them. So there's that, and then our non-basics, we have Skyline Cascade. So when this enters, target creature and opponent controls doesn't untap during its untap step. So this enter taps, and then you choose target creature somebody controls, and then it won't untap during its next untap step. So you don't tap the creature itself, which kind of sucks, but it's something. And we got Blighted Cataract, so add 1 colorless to your mana pool, pay 5 and a blue, tap this, sack it, draw 2 cards. Spawning Bed, so add 1 colorless, pay 6, tap this, sack, gain 3 1/1 colorless Eldrazi Scions. They tap to sack, or no, they don't tap to sack, they just sack and they add 1 colorless to your mana pool. And then we got Crumbling Vestige, so this enters the battlefield tapped. When it does, choose a color, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So usually when this enters the battlefield, just choose blue or something, so you add a blue to your mana pool. And finally we have Seagate Wreckage, so tap to add 1 colorless to your mana pool, pay 2 a colorless, and then tap to draw a card. Activate this ability only if you have no cards in hand. So like I said, there are some colorless things in here. Now, if you've seen my other commander videos, you know how I sort the organization, so that's why I did lands. I always do lands first, just so you can get the basic idea. Now, let's go on to our next things. Let's go on. So we have our instants. So, sorry about all this shaking and maybe the video quality. It's just I'm still trying to get used to this. It's still kind of a little bit heavier than the phone that I used to use. So anyway, Disdainful Stroke, counter target spell with converted mana cost 4 or greater, because blue loves the counter spells. And that's what I did with the first couple of spells here, is they're just straight up counter spells. So then we got Stoic Rebuttal, so Middlecraft costs 1 less to cast if you control 3 or more artifacts, and we do have 6 artifacts, so there is a slight possibility you could turn on Middlecraft on this. So straight up counter spell. Contradict, straight up counter spell, draw a card. Scatter to the Winds, counter spell. Now, they're not like counter spell, because counter spell just costs 2 blue right away, and it's not the best counter spell. The best counter spell in existence is, darn, I forget. It was reprinted in Eternal Masters, and it's really, really great. I mean, if you can find one and run it in Legacy, just run it. It's really great. But, where I say counter spell is because that's basically what it does. Just straight up counter target spell. So anyway, this says counter target spell, awaken, so you pay 6, and then awaken for 3. So put 3 counters onto target land, and it becomes an elemental 0/0 elemental creature with haste, and it's still land. Then we got Clash of Wheels, counter target spell unless its controller pays X. So say they're tapped out, you can just pay 1 blue and something else, and it's like, can you pay 1? No, you can't? Okay, that spell's countered. And then this one's kind of weird, it's foreign, but it's called Spell Blast. So you pay 1 blue and you pay X, counter target spell with converted mana cost X. So say somebody cast a 10 drop and you don't want that, you're going to have to pay 11 to counter it. So that kind of sucks, but it's there. And we got Spell Shrivel, so counter target spell unless its controller pays 4. If that spell is countered this way, exile instead. Vex, counter target spell, that spell's controller may draw a card. And Void Shatter, counter target spell. So it's like Spell Shrivel, except they can't pay 4, so exile instead, putting it to its owner's graveyard, and that's it. So, oh, and by the way, going back to that one spell that I remember, that's the best counter spell. It's called Force of Will. So Force of Will, pay 1 life, exile a blue card from your hand, and you can just straight up counter a spell. And sorry about going back to that, but yeah, I just remembered it. Anyways, let's go on to our other blue spells. So we got Crippling Chill, tap target creature, it doesn't untap during its controller's untap step, draw a card. Ojutai's Breath, tap target creature, doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. Rebound, so rebound is you put it into exile, and then during your upkeep you cast it again. So, like I said with Tromokratis, you want to, kill off your opponents with commander damage, and that's why you have them in there, is because they can tap a creature. And that creature won't untap, so you get to swing in and kill somebody. And then we got Telling Time, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 1 into your hand, 1 on top, and 1 on bottom. And we got Echoing Truth, return target non-land permanent and all of their permanents with the same name as that permanent to their owner's hands. So good against token decks, which there are some in Commander. Like you got Krinko, or you got Gov, Guru of Spores. Some people do it with Marith, but yeah, there are some token decks in Commander, so really good against token decks, or say somebody is playing one creature and another person plays the same creature, you can basically play this and bounce both of them back to their hands. Icy Blast, tap X, target creatures. If I control a creature with power, not if I, but if you control a creature with power 4 or greater. So say you play this with Tromokratis out on the field, so Ferocious will trigger, they have power 4, those creatures don't untap during their controller's next untap step. Then we got Anticipate, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 1 into your hand and the rest on the bottom. So like Telling Time, but a little bit worse, because Telling Time you get to put at least one on top and then the other on the bottom. That one forces you to put both on the bottom. We got Spatial Contortion, so it costs 1 and a colorless. So target creature gets +3, -3. So maybe you can play this on Tromokratis, make him an 11/5, and then swing in, and then just like that. Or you could get rid of somebody's creatures, so there's that. We got Adverse Conditions, tap up to 2 target creatures, so those creatures don't untap during their controller's next untap step, and then you put a 1/1 colorless Eldrazi Scion. So there's that, and we got Scour from Existence, straight up exile target permanent. Warping Well, exile target creature with power 1, with power or toughness 1 or less, counter target sorcery spell, or put a 1/1 colorless Eldrazi Scion. Then we got Crypsis, target creature you control gains protection from creatures your opponents control until end of turn, untap it, and that's it for our instance. Now on to our sorceries. Let me just move them over here. And so we got Index, look at the top 5 cards of your library, then put them back in any order. So there are some better cards, like if you have Tygam Scheming, oh, it's so much better than this, because Tygam Scheming, it allows you to look at the top 5 cards, and then you can put them back in any order you want, but say there are some on top you don't want, you can put those to your graveyard. So it kind of helps with deck thinning right there, because one time I did Index, and the next 5 cards that I was going to draw was basically all land, and everything in my hand was land, so I was flooded right there. So if you get a Tygam Scheming, definitely replace it with this. Then we got Tygam Strike. So a target creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn, and can't be blocked this turn. So rebound. So like I said, you can play that in Tromokratis and make them unblockable. And this deck, so what it's called is called Voltron. So Voltron is you want to get your commander up to a lot of damage and then just swing in for lethal. Then we got Treasure Cruise, Delve, and sorry if I'm shaking a lot. It's just like I said, this thing's kind of heavy. So anyway, Delve, so you can exile one from your, each card you exile from your graveyard while casting this spell pays for 1. And then you straight up just draw 3 cards. So say you have 7 cards in your graveyard, you can just exile all 7 and then draw 3 cards. Now, this deck doesn't have anything to recur stuff from your graveyard. You're basically going to have to rely on your opponents for that. So, yeah. But anyways, then we got Fathom Trawl. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal 3 non-land cards, and then put those cards reveal this way into your hand and the rest on the bottom. And then Slip Through Space. When target creature can't be blocked this turn, draw a card. Artful Dodge, target creature is unblockable this turn, and then Flashback for 1. Blue. So Flashback means you can play it from your graveyard, and then when you do, you put it into exile. Then we got Stolen Goods, target opponent exiles cards from the top of his or her library until he or she exiles an online card. Until end turn, you may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Then we got Hidden Strings, you may tap or untap target permanent, and then you may repeat it again. Cipher. Put it onto target creature you control, and then if that creature deals combat damage to a person, you may cast the cost. So, there's that, and then Hands of Binding, tap target creature and opponent controls, doesn't tap turns next on tap step, and then it's got Cipher again. So that's good. Now we're on to artifacts. So we got Tumble Magnet, so it enters the battlefield with 3 charge counters on it. You can remove charge counter to tap target artifact or creature. Fleet Feather Sandals. Equipped creature has flying and haste, equipped for 2, cost 2. Hero's Blade, so equipped creature gets +3/+2, cost 2. Equipped for 4, but whenever a legendary creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may attach Hero's Blade to it. So say you play that and then you play Tromokratis, you can basically make them 11-10 right off the bat. And then we got Brawler's Plate, equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has trample, cost 3, and then equipped is 4. And then we got Loxodon Warhammer, so equipped creature gets +3/+0, trample and lifelink, and pay 3, and it costs 3. And finally, one of my favorite things, Argentum Armor. So equipped creature gets +6/+6 whenever equipped creature attacks, destroy target permanent, and it costs 6 to equip and 6 to play. So, really helps out when you're going against somebody and they decide to play, Lightning Greaves. So Lightning Greaves, equipped creature gets haste and shroud, and it costs 0 to equip. So it's good right there. So it's kind of good at destroying permanents you don't like or something. And remember, that's when it attacks. It doesn't have to deal combat damage, it's just when it attacks. So there's that. Now on to our enchantments. So we got Retreat to Coral Helm, Landfall. Whenever a land enters battlefield under your control, choose one. You may tap or untap target creature or scry one. So scry one, or scrying it all, look at the top card of your library. You may put that on the bottom of your library if you don't want it. Then we got Still Artifact. You control target. Basically what this says is, I have the other version of it, the newer version. What this says is, you control target artifact if this leaves play, if the artifact leaves play, or the enchantment leaves play. So if the artifact leaves play, it goes to the person's graveyard. If this leaves play, it goes back to the person. Then we got Dream Lease. You may play a Dream Lease only on a tap permanent. You control enchanted permanent. Spectral Flight. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has flying. Ghostly Touch. Enchant creature. Whenever enchanted creature has, whenever this creature attacks, you may tap or untap target permanent. And then Infinite Reflections, enchant creature. When enchanted creature enters the battlefield attached to a creature, each other non-token creature you control becomes a copy of that creature. Non-token creatures you control enter the battlefield as a copy of an enchanted creature. Fun to play on somebody who's not playing a lot of non-tokens. And say they have a legendary creature out, put down their legendary creature, Legend Rule takes effect. When Legend Rule takes effect, it sees every other legendary permanent on the battlefield. All those legendaries go away. So they can choose to keep one of their non-tokens, or they can choose to keep their legendary, and all the other things go away. So, there's that. And remember, that is not enters the battlefield. So, say you play that on something like Reaper King. Reaper King is whenever another Scarecrow enters the battlefield, you may destroy target permanent. Or not may, it is a force, so destroy target permanent. So that's really good. So say you played on something like a Reaper King, the person will not get all the ETB triggers, because it changes all of them. It does not make them bounce and then enter. So that's good right there. Now finally on to our last little bit, we have our creatures. So I tried to organize this the best I could into utility creatures and other things. So let's just get on to the steps. So we have Coral Helm Guide, pay 5, target creature can't be blocked this turn. Guardian of Tazim, fly and landfall. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, tap target creature and opponent controls. If it's an island, it doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. Then we got Shining of Flight's Wings. So flying channel, you may discard this, and target creature gains flying until end of turn. So kind of good just to play on Tromokratis, that's why we have it in here. Then we got Amphin Path Mage, pay 3, target creature can't be blocked this turn. Wingcrafter, Soul Bond, when this is paired with another creature, both creatures have flying. So Soul Bond is whenever it or another creature enters the battlefield, you may pair this creature. So say you have this on the battlefield, and then you play one of the creatures in here, you may choose to give that creature flying, but say you play Tromokratis, it's always the best just to give both of them flying. Anyway, then we got Breach and Leviathan. When this enters the battlefield, if you cast it from your hand, tap all non-blue creatures. Those creatures don't untap during their controllers on the next untap step. Guile. Guile can't be blocked except by 3 or more creatures. If a spell or ability you control would counter a spell, instead remove that spell from the game, and you may play that without paying its mana cost. And whenever this is put into a graveyard from anywhere, so from your library, from the battlefield, from your hand, shuffle it into its owner's library. So that is good right there. And I do need to ask my local judge about Guile, to where if you do counter the spell and then exile it, if you have to play it right away. So say it's a sorcery, I don't know if you can play it right away if it's somebody else's turn, or if you have to wait until your turn to play it. So that's what I need to ask my local judge. And we got Deep Sea Kraken. So suspend for 1 and 2, 1 blue and 2 colorless. Can't be blocked. He's a 6/6. Suspend for 9 whenever an opponent casts a spell. If he is suspended, remove time counter from it. Then we got Equal Leviathan. So Island Walk, Trample, Shroud. So that's good. And then we got more utility creatures. So these, basically how else I organized it was I put in Eldrazi. So it's part Eldrazi tribal. Not completely, but the majority of our creatures are Eldrazi. So, Devoid, whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card, pay 3 and a colorless, target creature can't be blocked this turn. Then we got Endbringer, tap this, deals 1 damage to target creature or player, pay 1, colorless, tap this, target creature can't attack or block this turn, or pay 2 colorless, draw a card. Bane of Balagad, whenever it attacks, exile 2, defending player exiles 2 permanents he or she controls. Matter Reshaper, when this dies, reveal the top card of your library. You may put that card onto the battlefield if it's a permanent card with converted mana cost 3 or less, otherwise put that card into your hand. Thought Knot Seer, so when this enters the battlefield, target opponent reveals his or her hand, you choose an online card from it and exile that card. And it's when this leaves the battlefield, target opponent draws a card. Sorry about that, everybody. Somebody wanted to talk to me. Now, I'm just going to say this once, and hopefully people watch this video so you can kind of understand. Whenever I say one moment, or there's just an unexpected pause in the video and you see it cut to something else, know that I paused the video because somebody either wanted to talk to me or I had something to do, like, basically do what almost every other person in the world has to do, and that's use the bathroom. Anyways, we're almost done. We got like 4 creatures left, and then I'll just quickly explain something. Anyway, so we got Binding Drone, so Devoid, pay 1 colorless, tap this, and then tap target creature. So that you can do that whenever you want. Then we got Breaker of Armies. All creatures able to block him have to do so. So it's kind of good. So basically, say you swing with him and Tromokratis, they're all going to have to block him instead of him. Because he can't be blocked unless all creatures defending player controls block him. So this is not a forced block, this is a forced block. Now in a way, yes, this is a forced block, but it sees this on first. How the stack sees it, it will see this first, and then this will resolve, and then this. So they'll all have to be forced to block this creature before they block Tromokratis, forcing him to get through. Then we got Gravity Negator, so flying whenever he attacks, you may pay colorless. If you do, another target creature gains flying until end of turn. And then finally, one of my favorite Eldrazi that is not a legendary is Void Winnower. So whenever an opponent, or not whenever, your opponents can't cast spells with even converted mana costs. 0 is even. Your opponents can't block with creatures with even converted mana costs. So say you're going against a token deck, really shuts down token decks whenever you swing in with Tromokratis. So yeah, anyways, that's my Tromokratis deck right there, and I hope you all enjoy it. Now, when I post the other commander video, I will say something in that video. I hope it doesn't upset a lot of you, but I've kind of come to an end. Not on making videos in a way, but I'll explain it better in the Gisela video. So anyway, please watch that video if you want to see what's going to happen. And like I said, I'll try to explain it in the update video as well. Anyways, I hope you all enjoy this Tromokratis video, and Tromokratis Commander, if you want to build him, go ahead. Everybody's style is different. This is just how I built my Tromokratis. And this is how I build my commanders. If you guys want to play this commander deck and want to see how well he does at your local game shop, go ahead, build him. He's fun and great, and I'm just going to say, probably use better sleeves. See, I have him in a Dragon Shield sleeve himself, but for the cards I have him in penny sleeves. So, yeah, if you get better sleeves, definitely sleeve your commander decks. Anyways, I hope you, again, I'm going to say this again, and I bet everybody knows that's my favorite word right now is anyways. So, again, I hope you all enjoy the video, and have a great day. Bye!